In every aspect of the production, we'll have students involved and from multiple departments.
They're going to walk away from this experience being able to confidently say, I know exactly how to be an art director. I know exactly how to be a first AD. And they get to walk away from a legitimate feature film project, you know, not a student project, not a tweener project, an actual full-length feature film with name actors in it, with a real budget, with a real professional structure to it, and they get to say, I'm the first AD, I'm the EPM, I'm the whatever.
The most challenging part on this project as a cinematographer may have been all the different ways possible to tell a story and to make sure that we're communicating and that we can like bring the audience along with us, that they can follow, because we've got the script and we know the story, and so to like figure out that like the shot, you know, that I'm helping Tom communicate the story with the shot, that everybody's gonna follow us and that the points of the story are going to be communicated by the shot, and that we don't have to spell it out for people, but the shot will tell the story and that people can follow along. And hopefully we did that. That's what I'm always nervous about. Every time we're done, they're like, okay, moving on to the next thing. I'm like, are you sure, Tom? Are you sure we got it? Are you sure we're telling that thing that everyone's gonna get that? Well, on the lake stuff, all the stuff that we shot on the lake, we had the picture boat sitting in the water, and then we had the camera and our grip equipment on rafts, on like river rafting rafts. And at first it was a bit difficult being on a different boat than the picture boat. I got a lot of movement like this that was sometimes, you know, sometimes that's what we wanted to go for. We wanted to get some of that movement. And other times I was just like, it was a bit dizzying. And then afterwards, when we combined Steadicam on a raft, then we could kind of get really smooth movement across the water. So I had this huge, it was kind of like I had a limitless potential when it came to like a dolly move, because I was Steadicam on a raft. We also did some handheld standing in the water so I wouldn't get too much movement. But there was just like lots of different possibilities when it came to filming on the water. It was a lot of fun.
I was key grip, which means I was responsible for helping with camera movement on anything that's not the pan of what the camera does on its own tripod. I also assist the gaffer in bouncing light and controlling the spill of light. So often people say the gaffer sets the light and the key grip shapes the light. So those are my two main responsibilities. The DP is responsible for the image, for capturing the image of the film. He has two lieutenants, the gaffer and the key grip. These two people help him by adjusting the lights and shaping the way that light's hitting the frame. And then underneath we have our own captains or whatever you want to call them. And so the key grip has a best boy grip who just assists him in giving out information to the rest of the troops, as it were. So I work closely with Derek, who is the DP, and with Tom as the director, and kind of coming up with the visual style of the film. And then I have my best boy who gets my information and passes it on to the rest of the guys.
I was the first assistant director, so my job is basically to run the set and make sure that we shoot everything on time and that all the resources are there and ready for Tom to use in each scene. Then that way Tom can focus entirely on directing. He doesn't have to worry about all the logistics and all the different departments. That's my job. The great thing about him is that he totally gets out of the way and lets us work on the film and contribute in each of our departments. He never plays the big adult that's in charge of everything. He lets us be in charge. The hardest thing on set is having everything ready at the exact same time. We want all of the props to be ready and all the lights and the actors and all the makeup to all be ready at the exact same time, so no one has to wait for anybody. But it's impossible, because not only does everyone have a ton of work to do, a ton of prep, especially for the first shot of the day, but there's constant troubleshooting. I think filmmaking is just problem solving. We had really, really amazing talent. They were very, very generous with our crew, really patient with us. They never treated us like we were a bunch of kids or that we were the newbies. They were really happy to let us feel like filmmakers, like professional filmmakers. And people will really invest in a good script. And if you have a really meaningful script, It makes everyone working on the film care a little bit more because they believe in what the movie is saying. It's not just a fun popcorn movie, but it resonates with them, and I think Tom's writing confronts difficult subjects and hard to ask questions, hard to answer questions about Christianity and about our relationships to each other.
They've been fantastic, obviously, all of them. I can't even talk about them or I will weep. Remarkable students and just good people and really hard-working people. And your affection for them knows no bounds. And when you have to correct and educate very directly, it's painful to do so because you love them so much for what they've done. But they also expect that, and they deserve it.
I got involved in this project in October, and Mel came on board in December, and then from there we started pulling people to build up a crew. We have a crew of we've probably had at least 30. Working on a feature is just such a large scale. When I've done production design before, it's like, well, we'll paint a kitchen, we'll run to Thrift Town, we'll buy a clock, done. And so in this one, we have like 10 different sets on this location itself, as well as our exterior locations at lakes. It's just huge, so much more massive coordination. There's a need for such a big crew.
For me, it was really different because I've only worked on a couple films before and never in the art department. So it's been sort of, you know, finding my place in the crew, learning how things work on a set. I mean, it's been like a wild ride for me. I came from an acting background first and then transferred to film. So it's really cool to work this side of things and know how much effort and time and love is put into everything that we gather.
They could not have worked harder. I watched them walking around in that place with their literally raw feet. Action. And our art crew, you know, they're those women were getting sunburned and exposed to that, you know, and they just all because they believe in doing something good, being good stewards, and hopefully having a positive thing to contribute to the cinematic dialogue that goes on.